Hello and welcome to today's video where I'm going to show you how to do one of the most simple edits in Photoshop that will really elevate your photos, particularly if you're a beginner. This edit is generally known as the Orton Effect and adds a beautiful soft glow-like feel to photos. It's not a one-shot effect to fix or improve any of your photos, but with the right conditions, it really can add that special effect. Okay, so let's get started. Now the effect is generally applied at the end of the editing process, so both photos that we're working on here have had their edits done previously, but we'll start with this woodland shot here, so we'll load that one up. Now, I like the shot, it's quite nice, the tones, the mystery, it's all good, but it's lacking that element of etherealness, is that even a word? But I think you understand. This is where the Orton Effect is going to come in and hopefully enhance a lot of this mistiness going on here. So the first thing that we want to do is duplicate our layer. So make sure that's clicked on, press Ctrl J on your keyboard, make that new layer. Secondly, now jump up to Filter, Blur, Gaussian Blur. When this pops up, all you need to do is type in there. I like to use the number of megapixels that my camera has. So if you've got 24 megapixels, type in 24. If you've got 50 megapixels, type in 50. I'm not sure it really makes a great deal of difference, but these are the things that I like to work with. So for my D850, we're going to go 50. So we press enter on that and we've got our nice blurry photo. Next thing, go down to layers, add layers, and we're going to put in a curves layer up of it. Now we only want this curves layer to affect this layer here. We don't want it to affect the background there. So press Alt on your keyboard and you get this little hover here. So when you link between the two layers, put the cursor between the two and you'll get that little arrow there. Click on it, and now this curves layer is only going to affect this layer here. With curves 1 selected, make a nice strong S-curve, like so. Drop back down to this blurry layer, and change your opacity down to about 20. Now that's added this nice, lovely, soft Orton effect to everything. So if we turn it off, turn it back on, you can see it's darkened the shadows. It's added a mysterious sort of tinge to the mist that's going on there. You don't want to overpower the Orton effect. Less is more, as is most editing practice. Less is better. But if you go too high with it, it's going to start looking quite garish, unreal, and to be honest, a little bit silly as well. So we'll whack that down all the way down. Let's go to 20 again, just so you can see the effect without it being too garish there like that. Now, there is one more thing that we can do with this photo to take the effect just a little bit more special. But first, let's do the same thing now on the coastal shot, and then we'll come back to this and we'll tweak our layer a little bit more and make it a little bit more special. So we're going to save that, Control S. Like so, press OK. Yes, that's fine for now. And once that's saved, we'll close this off and we'll go on to the next layer, next photo. Okay, so the next photo, it's obviously a sunset photo, taken at Aberystwyth. And this is one of the personal favorites of mine. It does look like the horizon isn't straight there, though. If I just jump into that, a bugbear of mine, the horizon is not straight, so I should have done that previously. So we'll jump into there, like so. There we are. Right, that's sorted. So let's add the Orton effect to this. Nice simple Orton effect. So with your background layer there selected, press Ctrl J to duplicate your layer. And then what we're going to do is go back to Filter, Blur, Gaussian Blur, 50 pixels. Okay. Now on top of this, we want our curves layer, curves. And we only want it to work on the layer below. So hold down the Alt key on your keyboard, click in between the two, so it's only affecting the layer below. And then do your strong S-curves, like such. Then jump into your blurry layer and change it to around 20%. Lovely. Very simple way to get the Orton effect working on your photos. Now, I previously mentioned in the last photo that we can add a little bit more depth to this effect. So what we're going to do is press Shift on the two layers to select them both, drag them down to the folder file here, and what that does, it makes a group. If you change the group to the word Orton, just makes it a bit more simple. So everything that you've just done is now in that Orton folder there. So we turn it off and turn it on. And what this allows us to do is make a mask on top of this folder, so we can just apply it to certain areas. Now you can brush these things in, you can do anything you want really, but what I like to do is use luminosity masks. So if you've got something like Lumenzia or any other similar program that allows you to pick out luminosity masks, just pick the brighter colors in your photo. So I've clicked L here in Lumenzia, which gives us the blacks don't write, the whites do write. So the white elements are where we want to add this soft focus. So I quite like that there. So we're just simply going to press the mask button now. So what that's done is applied that mask on top of this Orton folder. So if we turn it off, so you can see the effect isn't as much as it was, because it's like this rock isn't having it now, and the sunnier areas and the golden areas are doing it. I quite like it. You can also go in now and you can change the opacity here if you wanted to. So you can boost it a little bit because we're only working on a smaller part of the photo. You can boost that up there like that now. So I think that looks quite nice. That's off and that's on. Lovely. So what we'll do, we'll save that now and we'll put up a comparison so you can see what's going on. And then we're going to dive into the woodlands and we're going to do exactly the same there as well. So we'll press save. Yes, that's fine. So once that's finished saving out, we're going to close this off and we're going to go back to our woodlands and we're going to do the luminosity masking on just the bright areas. So let's close that off there. Go back into our trees photo. So we've got our Orton Effect layers here. So shift, select them both, drag them down to the group. Let's rename that a group too. You can double click on these to change their names as well, by the way. Sometimes you have to be a bit quicker. So we'll type that to Orton. So we turn that on and off. You can see the effect it is having. Now, mask just the light areas. Luminosity masking. Lovely. So that looks really nice in black and white, actually. I quite like that. So what we're going to do is mask that. Please select a target layer. There we go. So now the Orton effect is just applied to those lighter areas. Again, like we did earlier, we can go in there and we can boost that up a little bit without it going too garish. That looks nice. Also experiment with changing the blend mode. So you've got normal. Some people like to use soft light because the Orton effect is soft. When it's soft, you might need to boost your opacity layers up a little bit more. That is quite nice. I quite like that. So we've gone up to there. So off, on, lovely. Anyway, that is how you apply a very simple Orton effect in Photoshop. I really hope you've enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. See you next time.